Hey everybody, how are you doing? Happy hashtag Wistful Wednesday. It's Paula Collins with Serene Wellness with Paula, and I am coming on like I said I would around 3:30, and it is 3:29, close enough according to my computer that's over here. So it's 3:29, close enough to 3:30, right? If you're joining me live, feel free to, leave comments and I will try to keep up with them. And if you're watching the replay of this, make sure you put in hashtag replay so I know. I love comments, and I like to know what people are thinking. So this week, my subject has been the Four Agreements, and it is a book. It is a book from a man by the name of Don Miquel Ruiz. I believe that's how you say his name. Hope I didn't butcher too badly. And a friend of mine, my friend Jan, turned me onto this book. And what I'm going to say now is that I actually have never read the book. What do you think of that? But I have listened to enough YouTube videos, podcasts, read blogs, and I've talked with my friend Jan, who is a guru at this book. On Facebook, she started a group about the Four Agreements a few years ago when she was reading it, and that group is still going strong. So so I know enough about it, and it resonates with how I coach my customers, my clients, because it's things that I teach them, and I didn't realize that it was so much a part of what I already do. So there's that. So I wanted to talk with you about it today. So we live in a broken world. It's a true story. And it's broken because we're human. And that's the honest truth. We make mistakes. We jump to conclusions. We have hurts and traumas of our own that color the way we see our world, the way we see other people, the way we see situations and environments. And so because of that, it's broken, and it's okay. It's part of the human condition. We can't change it. But we can't change another person, but we can change ourselves and our perception and our worldview. Is it easy to do? Hell no. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's not easy. It's painful. It's tough. A lot of times we want to give up, but we can't. We are works in progress, and that's the truth. And it's okay that we're works in progress, because healing is a lifelong thing. And we need all parts of us, our emotional, our mental, our physical, and our spiritual lives, right? Body, mind, and soul. We need it all to be in alignment. We need it all to be functioning a certain way so that we can live the best life we can, so that we can experience joy. It's the one thing, joy was the one thing that I never really felt. I would be happy, but not completely, right? And joy is something that we can experience no matter what's going on in our lives. So anyway, throughout our lives, we gain our belief system, our labels, and our concepts of what life is through the world around us, right? Through our families, through our friends, through what we read in magazines, what we see on social media, because our lives pretty much revolve around this, don't they? I mean, when I was growing up, nobody was doing lives because there was no Instagram, because there was no internet. Imagine that, there was no internet. And so we gauge ourselves, who we are, what we look like, our sense of self-esteem, our sense of self-worth, our worthiness, based upon what we see and read and hear. And a lot of what we see and read and hear are lies. And those lies become ingrained. See, our subconscious minds hear something and they don't know if what we're hearing is on the TV. Our subconscious mind doesn't care. It doesn't matter if we're reading something out loud. If we say it or our ears hear it, it goes into our mind and it can become ingrained there. The more we hear it, the more we see it, the more we say it. And so this colors our worldview and our perception. And then it can change everything about us. Sometimes we can feel like we're living in a dream, like it's not real. And if you're a science fiction fan, maybe you feel like you're living in the Matrix, right? You have no control over what's going on around you, that somebody else is controlling all of it. And that may or may not be true. But the one thing we do have control over is how we see ourselves, what we say to ourselves, and how we live, and our worldview. And we can change that. But we have to become aware of it. We have to become aware that we have trauma and that we're hurting, because the saying is true: hurt people, right? When people are hurt, they lash out. And when they lash out, they may unintentionally hurt those around them, right? We could be having a bad day at work. Something tragic could have happened in our lives. We're upset, we're overwhelmed, and so we lash out. We say things we don't mean. We do things that we might not mean to do. So we have to become aware of everything. Some of that comes through something called mindfulness. And mindfulness is just being aware of yourself and what you're doing, the activities that you're in, and what's going on around you. Also, if you're carrying unforgiveness in your heart, right, it causes you to become bitter and resentful. And so we carry that with us too, and we put that out into the world. So anyways, there's this book called The 4 Agreements, right? And the first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. Now, before I knew more about this book and what being impeccable with your word meant, I was like, I'm impeccable with my word. I've always have been. If I say I'm going to do something, I do it, right? If I say I'm going to be somewhere, I'm there. If I say I'm going to help somebody, I help somebody. I was impeccable with my word for everybody else but me. I was not impeccable with my word for myself. I would make promises to myself that I would break, or I would say things to or about myself based upon the labels that I had heard a lot from the outside. And so I was hurting myself because I was saying things that weren't necessarily true about me. And I was voicing it and I was putting it out there. I was kind of like Eeyore, if you're familiar with Winnie the Pooh. Oh, woe is me, gonna be another bad day. That was me. I didn't have a lot of friends, but then again, who wants to be friends with somebody who's like that? Nobody, right? So I wasn't impeccable with myself about how I talked about myself, and I have changed that. And it's not like I go around bragging about myself saying, oh, I'm great, I'm beautiful, I'm wonderful, blah, 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 blah. No, but I also don't sit around and put myself down all the time either. I know what my shortcomings are. I know what my abilities are. And I'm okay with a lot of them, which is good. But I don't put myself down for it either. I know that I'm lovable. I know that I am worthy. I know that I am capable. And those are important things. Those are important I am statements. So being impeccable with my word for myself. If I tell myself I'm going to do this thing for me, to help me, then gosh darn it, I am going to make sure that I do it. And I'm going to get somebody to help keep me accountable to my word. Because let's face it, we get busy in our days and we forget stuff all the time. So accountability is always good because we can't do life alone. We're not meant to do life alone. It's just not possible. So being impeccable with your word. That's the first one. The second one is not to take anything personally. Now, when I was in my worst possible state, I took everything personally, right? I texted somebody, they didn't text me back. I took it personally. I put stuff on social media, people didn't like it, I took it personally, right? Here's the thing, and it's so true. Others' opinions of us are none of our business. Let me say that again. Others' opinions of us are none of our business because they are looking at us through their own clouded vision, their own trauma, right? They're looking at us based upon their worldview and their perception of the world. So we can't take it personally because it's not about us. If what you have shared about yourself is true and it's real, and you know deep down in your heart that it's true and that it's real, then it is. And you don't need somebody else to validate you. Validation comes from within you. It doesn't come from outside of you. I used to search for it and crave other people's validation. And you know what? A lot of times I didn't get it, and it made me feel worse about me. But they're caught up in their life. They're caught up in what they're doing. And if they don't notice what I did, it's okay. Because I know. And that's all that matters. So, not taking anything personally. The third agreement is don't make assumptions. Oh, anybody else an assumption maker out there? That's me too. That was me. But this is more about assumptions about what people may or may not be willing to do for you. See, I never wanted to put anybody else out because I didn't think anybody would want to help me. I didn't think anybody else would care. So I made before I asked anybody to do anything, I just figured out how to do it myself. I was making assumptions that other people didn't see me as important. I was making assumptions that there wasn't anybody else who could help me or would want to help me. And you know what I did? I robbed those people of being able to use their gifts and their talents that they were given in this lifetime. And that's wrong because we are all given gifts and talents. If you don't believe you have gifts and talents, then you have some healing you need to do, right? And we all have them. We just need to take off our colored glasses and stop looking at ourselves through our trauma to know what ours are so that we can help other people too. So stop making assumptions because, as the word says, when you assume something, you make an ass out of you and me. right? That's what the word assume says, making an ass out of you and me, because we're assuming something. We don't know the facts. We don't know all the details. So making the assumption is not good. Looking into the figurative crystal balls, right? And thinking we can predict what people are going to say or want to do, not a good thing, because we don't know that for sure. And so you ask somebody to do something and they can't do it. Oh well, so they can't do it. There might be somebody else who can. And then there's the last agreement, which is always do your best. Now, I thought I had this one down to an art form. I was like, yeah, I always do my best. Always. Yeah. I mean, like, I'm amazing. Like, I can do this, and I always do it to the best of my ability, and I will go above and beyond to do it. What I really was an overachiever. There are high achieving people, and that's great. That's wonderful. High achieving is wonderful. And then there are overachievers, and overachievers are always in a contest. They're always in a competition with themselves and everybody else to prove that they can do it. And that's not what always doing your best is about. Always doing your best means when you get up in the morning, whatever it is that you set out to do it to the best of your ability that day. So, you wake up, you're not feeling well, you have things to do, just do your best. And if you can't do something, tell people, and don't feel bad that you can't do it. Life happens, crap happens. It's a part of life. But do your best, do it to the best of your ability. You don't have to be the best at everything, and you can't be the best at everything, because not everything is your gift and your talent, right? A friend of mine asked me to go to one of those places where we all paint the same picture. I'm not an artist. I'll tell you that right now. Not one of my God-given gifts. It's just not. But you know what? I went and I had fun and I laughed and I did it to the best of my ability and I had a good time. Am I Picasso? No, doesn't matter. I just did my best. And that's all we can ever do is just what our best. And you know what? My best yesterday is not the same as my best today, and it won't be the same as my best tomorrow, right? It all comes down to where we are that day. You know, a couple nights ago, I couldn't sleep to save my life. Got up the next day, I was sluggish. I had no energy. I had a lot that I had to get done. I did what I could. And what I could do, I tried to do my best. And that's all we can do, right? It's just do your best and to the best of your ability. So what does all this mean? This means that if we're not living in these 4 agreements, we're not living our best lives for ourselves. We got to start living our best lives for ourselves first. Once we are able to do that, then we can share that with others. If we are suffering from unresolved forgiveness and trauma, we need help to heal that, right? It's part of the reason I do what I do as a women's life coach, an emotional trauma coach, right? I want to help other women heal from their crap so that they can start living in these 4 agreements, so that they can be impeccable with their word and not take things personally and not make assumptions and just do their frickin' best, right? We need accountability. Before I started my healing journey, I didn't have a whole lot of people in my space. And I get that. Nobody wants to be around Debbie Downer and Eeyore all the time. It's hard. And once I started healing and letting go of all that stuff that was weighing me down, letting go of the unforgiveness, letting go of the trauma from my past, I changed and I became a different person. Just ask my husband, he'll tell you. God bless the man that he stayed with me through all of my trauma and my shit. He is such a good man. He's an amazing individual. But as I healed, a lot of people started to not like me because I wasn't as compliant. I let go a lot of my bad tendencies of being a people pleaser or just trying to blend in. because now I have an opinion. And people don't like that, and that's okay. Because on this journey that we call life, we find our tribe. We find our people, right? Those people who are going to love us unconditionally for who we are, who are going to call us out when we do something stupid. And I've been able to do that. And I love that I've been able to do that. And I have some of the best friends now that I've ever had in my life. I never thought I'd have female friends because I didn't trust women because of the bullies, right? But I have female friends now that I adore. They are my soul sisters. And we may not live in the same city. In fact, I have a few that don't even live in the United States. And that's okay. Because we can chat. You know, we can FaceTime, we can go on Zoom. I see that, you know, my friend Jan just jumped on, and I love this woman. And Jan, I already mentioned you because talking about the 4 agreements, which I know is something that you love. But I love my friend Jan. She's an amazing individual, and I can have such deep conversations with her because I've done so much of my own healing. Because I've gotten to this point in my life. And I would love to help you if that's something that you desire and something that you need, so that you can start living in these 4 agreements. So drop comments below, send me a message, let's have conversations. These are conversations that are worth having every day, all the time. Right? The 4 agreements are conversations that are worth having every day and all of the time. And I would love to talk with you more about it. So enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. And I will talk with you next time. All right? Have a good one. Bye-bye.